Damn boy, Shadow Warrior 3 looking pretty damn good, isn't it? But let me guess, you haven't played the previous games and know nothing of the series, or maybe you just need a recap. Or maybe you're a boomer and this footage is what comes to your mind when someone mentions Shadow Warrior. So I'm here to help you answer the question, should you play Shadow Warrior 1 and 2 before 3 comes out? I'll touch on the story first and then we'll talk about the game themselves. If it's story that you're worried about, then you don't need to worry about much at all. Chill out, I'm not going to spoil the whole thing for you. In Shadow Warrior we play as Lo Wang. And if that name sounds stupid and makes you want to crack a joke about it, well that's because it is. Lo Wang is a clown, an assassin who works for this all-powerful rich guy called Orochi Zilla.
You are stress-talking again, Lo Wang.
At the beginning of the first game, we are sent to purchase an ancient katana for 2 million bucks from a collector named Miyazaki. No, not the Dark Souls one, that's actually the other way around, it's Miyazaki, not Miyazaki. He says, no way Jose, I'm not selling you the goddamn sword. We try to take you by force, we get captured, demons attack the place like it's just another day, Miyazaki is killed in the process, and Lo Wang allies himself with the friendly demon Hoji, and by friendly I mean he definitely wants to use us as his human pet. It turns out that the sword we were sent to purchase is the Nobitsura Kage, a sword capable of slaying immortal beings. And it's actually not one sword, but 3 different swords that we need to merge. The whole thing escalates as we play through the game and learn more about the Shadow Warrior world and all the demons family drama, but that's as far as I'm gonna go for the first game. Shadow Warrior 2's story does involve us saving the world once again, just another day in the office for Mr. Lo Wang, but it somehow feels like more of a side quest, and I'm not gonna go into detail because I don't want to spoil the end of the first game for you, which is freaking awesome. Before getting to the games, let me make this clear. These games are a lot less about the ridiculous story and a lot more about their charismatic characters and sense of humor. So my relationship with these games is a little weird. I actually played through Shadow Warrior 2 first. I know, like, why would I do such a thing? Well, I just didn't know better, but that ended up being a good turn of events. So I'll first talk about Shadow Warrior 2 and then cover Shadow Warrior 1, which I think is a great idea since Shadow Warrior 1 is a more streamlined game, Shadow Warrior 2 tries more of an open world style, and Shadow Warrior 3 is now going back to the series roots for that focused, curated experience. So with close to zero knowledge on the franchise, I wake up one day, open up Steam and search for a new shooter to play. I find Shadow Warrior 2 and like, okay, let's freaking do this. And my first impressions were great. It's a first-person shooter that takes a lot from Borderlands, so a looter shooter with a bunch of options for gameplay style and builds. And it has a sense of humor that will either make you turn off the game and ask for a refund in like the first 10 minutes, or like in my case, will carry you through the whole game because you just want to hear the next line from the main protagonist that just bursts through the screen with personality and charisma like I've never seen before. His name is Lo Wang, and he cannot go 2 minutes without making a dick joke. What's not to like?
Oh my, if it isn't fuckface, my favorite asshole.
So let's dive a little deeper. After the game introduction, the gameplay loop becomes clear. There is this area that works as your base with NPCs to interact with, get new missions, buy and sell stuff, and from where you launch missions. So you have this sort of map with all the unlocked destinations on it, and you can choose which one to launch. It could be a story mission, it could be a side quest, or you could just be looking to farm a certain weapon in a random map. Alright, the idea is not to do an entire review on this, so let's go. Gameplay, combat, this is what we're here for. Let's start by saying that it's good. Guns feel like they should feel and they sound like they should sound, so shooting is fun. When you hit an enemy, blood splatters everywhere, so weapon feedback is on point. Melee weapons are also great, which is key to the Shadow Warrior franchise since the katana is there from the first game. Movement is fast. There is a lot of movement freedom in this game. Combining jumps and dashes is a thing that can get out of hand pretty quickly, but again it feels nice to play. You can run on roofs and roleplay as Batman if that's what you're into. Hey, I'm not judging here, okay? There is also a wide variety of skills, active skills, passive skills, I think they call powers, whatever, that you can upgrade as you level up according to your build. Okay, so that sounds pretty damn good, right? Like game of the year, for sure. Okay, yeah, there are a few problems, although most of them are very personal. Your mileage may vary. I remember playing through the game and somehow coming to the conclusion that this game isn't supposed to be a looter shooter. And again, I didn't know anything about the previous games at this point. So don't take me wrong, Shadow Warrior 2 was built as a looter and it works more than fine, it works really well. A ton of players loved it and they put endless amount of hours into it. But I stand by the opinion that a more focused game will have achieved better results. I think it all comes down to execution. I didn't enjoy playing missions that take place in the same maps and having to go through the same areas over and over again from point A to point B, basically following mission pointers. That is not engaging to me. I ended up skipping a lot of enemies because, yeah, there is no reason to kill them, it's just a waste of ammo and time. And maybe you don't know me and you're thinking, well, this guy just probably doesn't like looter shooters. But hey, take this, like I am a looter shooter fan, I play a lot of Destiny 2, I like Borderlands a lot. I have nothing against looter shooters. But this game, for some reason, just made little sense to me as a looter shooter. I couldn't pinpoint the exact reason as to why that was the case. But hey, spoiler alert, Shadow Warrior 1 is not a looter shooter. And I don't know why they decided to go this way with the sequel. And then there's things like, why do I need to shoot this normal looking dude in the face with a double barrel shotgun 10 times for him to die? It's a problem that is present in many games, yes, and it's a little bit of a nitpick, definitely. But like, if it's a massive monster, then that's cool, that makes more sense, right? But just a normal guy, come on, brother. I realize that I'm sounding like way too negative now, so here, take a look at these beautiful sights. In my playthrough, I focused on the main campaign and all the side quests. I never went off the path to farm for specific weapons, I didn't load into maps just for the sake of it, I just didn't feel compelled to do that. That side of the game kind of never really clicked for me. Like there is this whole bunch of systems like damage types, enemy modifiers, weapon modes and so on, and for some reason I wasn't completely interested. Which is weird because again, I usually like that kind of shit. I put thousands of hours into Warframe and Path of Exile and games of that nature. I had zero interest in playing Shadow Warrior 2's endgame. Now, let's make this completely clear. And this may sound weird after what I just said, but I had a great time playing this game, and the biggest reason for that was the game's personality. Oh my god! I don't care how stupid the story is, as long as Wang can deliver his next punchline. He is definitely the center of attention, but it's also surrounded by a cast of fascinating supporting characters that elevate the whole thing. Like even flavor test in the game isn't safe from stupid jokes. So let's do a TLDR for Shadow Warrior 2. If you're looking to experience the main campaign and be up to date with the story, it will take you about 8 to 10 hours and you should definitely go for it because it's a great time, it's a fun game and it has 4-player co-op, which might be a good selling point for you. If you're into Borderlands or games of that kind, you may choose to put more hours into the game and experiment with multiple different builds and higher levels of difficulty. Alright, so I finished Shadow Warrior 2, gameplay was fine, it was great, but not like blowing your mind crazy shit. Story was silly, but the writing was freaking awesome. It didn't quite satisfy my FPS itch, you know? Yeah. So you know what? I will try Shadow Warrior 1. Why the hell not? Holy shit, that was the best decision of my life! Okay, calm down, it's just a game, bro. We covered the Shadow Warrior 1 story at the start of the video, so no need to go over that again. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Shadow Warrior 1 is janky. Everything about it is to one degree of another just janky. Animations look weird. You don't even ADS with right click because that will make too much sense. Like, yeah, no, we can't have any of that sense making here. What are you talking about? Graphics are old. The game looks like absolute shit, especially human models, like damn. And yet sometimes you still stumble upon these staggering sights that make you stop and take a screenshot. Wait, are you telling me you don't need 4K gazillion pixels for your game to look cool? Wow, who would have thought? Seriously though, environment design is top notch. There is nothing like slicing enemies in half with the katana and pushing enemies to the ground with a set of powers that can make most of the game actually completely trivial, and yet you don't care because it's just fun. Well, I might be exaggerating on the trivial part, it's still a hard game if you play on harder difficulties. To use your powers, you don't just press a button. No, that will be too simple, my friend. What are you talking about? No. You need to double tap in a certain direction and hold right click, because that's clearly a better way of doing it. You know, more immersion is better. Weapons are great. They can be upgraded to unlock some sweet alternate fire modes. My personal favorite is the crossbow. Like, those headshots, man. They're beautiful. They feel so good. Yeah. And of course, you can use demon heads to fire a fucking laser beam, or demon hearts to kill all lesser demons in the area. These two are actually throwbacks to the classic game, and like, damn, that's so metal, dude. The story, you know, my expectations were low, I'm gonna be honest, but it really surprised me. It gets serious and even sad at times, but not in a bad way. It's actually really good. And so there's this huge contrast between the story events and Wang's and Hoji constant quarrel. Did I already mention that Wang is the best FPS character ever? He's kind of like the reverse Doom guy, killing demons all day without ever shutting his goddamn mouth.
It is written that no human tongue can pronounce a demon's name.
Try me.
All right, my name is Hoji.
Hoji.
But it's impossible. How did you must be the one that the prophecy spoke of.
Really? What else does the prophecy say?
Why, that the one will also believe any goddamn idiot thing you make up on the spot.
Get out of my car.
Boss fights. Oh my lord, boss fights feel anything but smooth. Like, Jesus Christ, they are an absolute mess. Their presentation is good though, I'll give them that, but if there was a button to skip boss fights, I would press it every time. Not all of them are bad, but like there are a few that are similar. They are so bad. But it's okay, you pull through because you know what, it's worth it. Shadow Warrior 1 feels old and janky and outdated. This game fucking sucks. Wait, what? No, this game is amazing. This game is real, front facing. You get what you see. 10 to 15 hours of gloriously gory boomer shooter gameplay and hilarious Wang vs Hoji banter that will let you forgive all its shortcomings and enjoy the goddamn ride. At this point it goes without saying, but I think you should 100% give this game a try. But do keep in mind what you're getting into. If you're coming out of Doom Eternal and looking for a new game to play, well, brother, this might not be for you, you know, like chillax on those expectations. I had such a good time playing this game. It's one of those games I wish I could play again for the first time. Yes, it has many flaws, but who cares? The game certainly doesn't. It fucking owns them. So, let's go full circle and ask the question once again. Should you play Shadow Warrior 1 and 2 before Shadow Warrior 3 comes out? Well, Shadow Warrior 1 is not for everyone, but I personally loved it. Like, it has a special place in my Wang. I will fight you if you think otherwise. That game is the most imperfect masterpiece you will probably never play. Oh, shit, that was great. Shadow Warrior 1 is the most imperfect masterpiece you will never play. Okay, now that I said it out loud, it doesn't sound as good. Shadow Warrior 2 is an easier sell, it's a more contemporary game, and despite its mechanics not quite clicking with me, I will still recommend it for sure. If story is what you're after, and like you don't care about playing the games, then go watch some videos or read the wiki. Like, what do you want from me? Well, actually, maybe I'll do a story recap video. Whenever I find the time. The next installment in the series is shaping up to be an absolute banger. When the devs came out and said, hey, we're going back to Shadow Warrior 1 style, well, let's just say that my Wang was anything but low. And with that bad joke, I free you from this torture. Hope you liked the video and find the time to play these games that might be far from perfect, but boy do they have a big heart. Goodbye.